Okay, I don't know how many times I've been requested to nap Onondaga chert. So I got some here. I was going through my boxes and I found some. Off camera, I knocked it down into some chunks. A lot of this is cracked, at least from this batch, right? I guess it's freeze cracked, but some of it is solid, right? So I should be able to get like a Madison or something out of it. I did get one earlier. I just did this a little while ago just to get the feel for it. It reminds me a lot of rhyolite, just not as bad. It is a little bit better than rhyolite. It's like a fine-grained rhyolite, and it has a heavy oil odor to it. Yeah, when you break it open, there's a very noticeable petroleum type odor to it, or a tar type odor, a natural odor, not the industrial. Oops. But anyway, it is obviously very unpredictable if it's cracked like this. Let's see. I find that it pressure flakes pretty good. But as far as percussion goes, it doesn't really like percussion. It resists percussion. Which figures, because percussion is the majority of what I do these days, it seems. I think if you could find a good clear piece, you won't have much trouble with it. If you know how to work stuff like rhyolite, you won't have any trouble with this stuff. Now, I did work some of this before. It's just been so long I don't remember. I don't remember when I did it. I think I made a point out of it some years ago. And the sample that I had was very small. I'm pretty sure it was sent to me as, well, this is one of the biggest pieces that I've ever received. I got some other pieces from somebody else, and forgive me if I can't remember who these things are from. They've just been sitting in my rock challenge piles for a long time. Let's see. If this is Onondaga, this looks lighter in color. So I guess it comes in different shades. It has these little light blue streaks, or I don't know if they're translucent. Probably translucent. And that might be a patina. I don't know. Anyway, I'll work more of this. I'll do some more of this. Maybe I'll nap this one in the next video or something. Anyway, this one, if I get a preform out of this one, it's going to be pretty small. Now, as I was saying, it likes pressure, strangely enough. I was able to pressure flake it pretty well. But like rhyolite, when you hit it with percussion, it resists and it ends up crushing most of the time. You got to have a really good platform. Even with a really good platform, you'll get crushing even if you do get a good flake. It just doesn't like percussion at all, as far as I can tell on these pieces anyway. And even if you have a good ridge, it doesn't follow it many times. Not as far as you would like it anyway. It will follow a ridge. As far as thinning it down, I had a hard time thinning that other piece down. Now, should I be using a different material? Should I be using copper or something better to knap this with? Eventually, I guess what I'll do is, in the future on my channel, I'll just pick a material that I think works best for tools on a certain type of stone that I'm working. Right now, I just want to make sure that I go through as many materials as I can with steel and iron, just so I can get used to it. And know it, so I can know its properties, the properties of the iron and steel. Wrought iron is very similar to mild steel. For those of you who are just tuning in, this is wrought iron. Why do I use wrought iron? Because it triggers people, obviously. Well, no, I can make up a good excuse why I use it, but I do it mainly just to get experience. I get questions about, well, can I use this? Can I use that material? Have you tried this? Have you tried that? How does this work? All I have is nuts and bolts and a toolkit. I can't get anything else. I don't have any money. I live in the desert, literally. The nearest store is 50 miles away. We survive on potatoes and goat's milk. What do? Well, you can use stuff out of the toolkit. You can use steel. Obviously, I've been showing that. If you listen to a lot of other people, they'll tell you, no, it's not going to work. But if you understand how the stone fractures, you can make any material work, at least to some degree. Even if all you have is wood, you can make stone points or usable stone tools using wood as your knapping tools, if that's all you have. Now, am I going to make videos using wood? I don't know. That's a good question. I thought about it. I have to really think about it some more. I don't really want to. Why is that, you might ask? Because wood is highly variable. It's even more variable than antler and bone. I could have a piece of wood, let's say a piece of elm wood, and you go out and you cut yourself a piece of elm wood and you try using it the way I did, and you'll say, this elm does not work. I don't know how you're getting what you're getting. Well, could be that my elm is different than yours. So what is the point of using wooden tools in my videos if it's not going to apply to you? Or I could use Ipe, and you say, well, I've tried buying Ipe, but it's not the one you have. You obviously have better stuff than I do. And I probably do because I bought my Ipe 15 years ago. Or thereabouts. I got stuff that I bought. Hey, there's our guest. I got stuff that I bought when I was making bows. And that was many years ago. So yeah, the Ipe now that you get is not going to be the same as what we used to get 15 years ago or however long ago. Maybe it was, no, I think it probably was now 15 years ago. I got perfectly straight grained, beautiful dark red, and several, well, not several, I think I have 4 boards of that. They used to sell it as decking material. Beautiful boards of Ipe in almost any length that you want, up to about 40 feet. Perfectly straight grained dark wood. Which means it's highly insect resistant. Blah blah blah. And the last I checked, you couldn't even get Ipe per se. You get a related species. Right? I checked a few years ago, and it seems like they're trying to sell a related species or something. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong about that. Or they're getting it from a different country now that sources in Central America have dried up, or whatever. Maybe they're getting it from Central America because sources in South America have dried up. I'm not sure. Anyway, that kind of thing. Well, why don't you just use stuff that we send you? How's that? Well, I've been trying to do something like that with stone for my rock challenges, but then I end up with piles of boxes. See that? There. Now you can see it. I end up with piles of boxes. That's only maybe 1/3 of what the boxes I have from rock challenge rocks. I would end up with like stacks of wood from different areas. Try this wood, try that wood, and that sort of thing. You know what I mean? Wood might not be that popular, of course, as a knapping curiosity. I don't think that many people would be interested in knapping with wood, but I think you get the idea. I would have to try wood from various different locations, and then it would only apply to a few people at a time, relatively speaking. And then, even if I could manage to satisfy the curiosity of maybe 5 to 10% of my audience, the other 95% to 90% would be kind of just in the dark, you know. Well, we kind of know how it would work, but we really don't know. After dozens and dozens of videos, it just still doesn't apply to us. So, I'm hesitant to do that. Also, I'm trying to prioritize my time right now. I'm trying to work on stuff that I can sell. So I'm working on knives, designs for knives. I'm working on maybe making miniature archery sets, because that would be ideal for me, because then I don't have to stock a bunch of big pieces of wood. It's easy for me to obtain high quality material in small pieces. So I could make working miniatures, fully functional miniatures in the authentic wood without having to stock large quantities of big pieces. Now, I may be able to in the future, not too far from now, stock large quantities of wood. But right now I can't. That goes for stone too. I'm limited on space right now. So normally I would use percussion to tackle these turtlebacks, these areas that are very lumpy. I will in a minute. I just got to get the edges regular. Yeah, I didn't say hi to Kevin earlier because it was going to interrupt my train of thought. So then he wanders off if I don't really pay attention to him. Okay, so I'm going to try percussion. It's about the same size as the other Madison, right? But it's even smaller. And we still have some issues. Cracking. I might not be able to thin it down. There's some big cracks in here. But I could get a working Madison. I mean, they're not paper thin in many cases. And I can see why. All right, so let's see if we can get some percussion going here. Talking about wood knapping tools, and I was only half paying attention to myself. Only half paying attention to what I was talking about, so I don't even know. Let's see. So what kind of materials have I used for flint knapping so far? I've used copper and antler, of course. I've used stone tools, stone to knap stone. I have a stone pressure flaker and, of course, hammer stones. I have stone pressure flakers that look like what they call perforators. I've used that. So I've used stone on stone. I've used aluminum. I did a long stint with aluminum, which is a very good material for flint knapping as far as I'm concerned. Very versatile. Has almost the same specific gravity as stone, so your boppers are going to be very similar in weight for the volume as stone, whereas copper is extremely heavy compared to stone for the same volume. And aluminum is cheap. It's cheaper than copper as far as I know in most areas. And sometimes you can get that stuff for free. Easier than you can get copper for free. Now, if you have generous friends like I do, I get copper for free because they want to share. So cool. Awesome. I just got a bopper made of some sort of electrical thing glued to a handle. I haven't used that one yet, but it looks like it's a good tool for spalling and stuff. I think, yeah, my friend Leo gave that to me. Now, Leo, if you're watching, I don't know if I forgot to write down your contact information or if I lost it. But yeah, get in touch with me in the comments. Because I hate losing track I hate losing track of information. And I hate when I don't remember if I wrote it down or not. Okay. So to thin this down, I'm going to pause it here and then stretch, take a break, and come back.